they'll send it that way.
Maybe I'll. do
Email
that.
box, is all it is.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah.
You know, drinking in here during the meeting. Everybody get the sign-in sheets.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
back to John already. So I think we all signed it. Yeah.
It's so efficient.
Okay, Fred, everything's ready to roll.
Okay. We'll call this one back Solid Waste Management Board meeting together at November 11th, 2024 at approximately 3:30. Has proper notice been distributed, John?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Oh, we do have a quorum. First order of business is to review and approve the agenda
So moved.
by Gunter. Second. Seconded by Mr. Way. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Agenda is approved. Likewise for the minutes of our meeting of October 14.
Make a motion to approve.
By John Miller, second.
Second.
We got Lois. All right.
What do you want it to be?
Okay. Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's approved. Don't have any public comment here. Is there any?
I have none.
John? No? Okay. 2025 PTF pricing and brochure updates.
So right now, just our current brochures getting passed around, just so you guys have something you can kind of look at and compare prices when I tell you what's changing.
Yeah.
What'd you say about it?
Just so you can kind of see what current prices are and
Yeah.
what will be going up on, that kind of thing. I guess biggest thing is most of the stuff staying the same again. Our tire tonnage, is I guess the biggest thing. Currently Liberty charges $3.50 a ton and we were only charging $3.20.
Ooh.
For how that got
Oofed up.
slipped right past me. So instead of charging people at $30 a ton, because that's a little steep, we're gonna go in $15 increments. So next year it'll be $3.35 a ton and then we'll get up to $3.50 2026. And we were buying these like $77 battery boxes, recycle batteries. But then we realized that we could just go through LRI, which they already take our bulbs and other batteries. So we're just gonna go with them. So we will start taking alkaline batteries, just the little like household ones, for $1 a pound, and you gotta tape the ends. So that'll be listed on there, I guess. But otherwise, yeah, that's literally just the two things that's changing.
Does that include those little flat 9-volt?
I did just take some in today, yeah, and I kind of taped them, and then I do still have one battery box in my office, I guess, if you want to take that with you to the PTO.
Yeah, we got a stack of them on the file.
So you can take that with, so we have the one box left, but otherwise, yeah, like, yeah, like the little like watch like the flat batteries you're talking about, like they kind of like.
No, they're like,
He's talking about 9-volt battery.
9-volt.
Oh, yep, yeah,
One time I had two of them in a sport coat pocket and they touched.
They heat up real
I
quick.
had a very warm pocket.
yeah. Taping the ends is important, if they come untaped, we'll probably have to do like I should add in here, like if they have them untaped, well, then they need to pay like $2 a pound so that somebody can sit there and tape them, you know, so we're actually getting paid to tape.
They actually got them in, someone will bring in, they've been collecting them for years, so we
Yeah.
got 5-gallon bucket full.
Yeah.
You know, how long it's gonna take for sit and tape that.
So, I mean, and they can be garbage technically, I mean, that's what we do now, I guess, but some people obviously like to do something a little better with them and, Yeah. so yeah, I think I'm gonna like bold highlight that they have to tape the ends, otherwise it'll be a lot more.
And that includes hearing aid batteries, those tiny little ones.
Yep, yeah, we can take those.
And something is actually done with all of them.
We already take them.
Yeah. Elroy already takes pretty much like all different types of batteries and stuff and
Yeah, I guess that's the question I have too, is like, not so much of the lithium ion, the little pancake batteries, cause I know there's valuable stuff in that for them. But like the alkaline, do you know what they do with that? No, okay,
really.
just, I was just curious, cause most places don't want those things, cause they don't have any lithium in them or anything, you know, like, so. But,
How about those little flat ones that look like a dime?
yeah, those are
We already
usually,
take-
those usually have lithium or nickel in them or something, they want that stuff.
Okay.
We already take them. Those are the
Yep.
ones that actually start the fires a lot of
Yep.
times. Yes.
Mhm.
Yep, no, we take them already.
Yep.
Do they have to be taken to Manawa or do you have a drop-off site in the area?
Not that I know of any. They come up to us.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the Wapaka drop off, they take batteries. I think they try to discourage that. They say they have a big ol' container of them right now, that they need to either get up to the PTF or do something. But I think most of the time we just either direct them here to the courthouse or PTF.
So you do have a drop-off here at the courthouse?
I always say we can accept them
Okay, thank you.
and we'll get them to the PTF somehow. I don't.
So do we want to encourage people to recycle them or not?
I mean, I like to encourage people to recycle everything, I guess, but. I mean, since we have an avenue for them, I think people are just gonna be upset because they're like, well, why do we have to pay for this specific type of battery and not pay for other types of batteries? It's kind of like the heat I see, getting, but I think if we like explain that these other batteries are, like Joe said, they're actually worth something, like, well, obviously then like to process a material that doesn't really have, I guess, that, that much desired material and that desired ingredients in it, then yeah, like you have to pay to, I guess, do something with it. But I mean, if people complain, again, like I said, I mean, they can technically still be garbage, but the guy that, Chris Blonde over at Brown County, he's of the mindset that if people just keep throwing them away, then there's never gonna be like the desire or like, if there's not like, if people don't want to recycle them, then there won't be like the recycling market for them, like there has to be like a push to actually find a way to recycle these things. So like if people keep pushing to recycle them, then like something has to just be done with them kind of thing, I don't know, it's kind of, I'll tell people to recycle them, I guess. But if they give me too much crap, then I'll tell them just garbage. I don't know, it's tricky.
Do you see the state adding batteries to the list of things that have to be recycled?
Well, I mean, I guess this specific type of battery, I'm not sure, I guess, because there are like lithium batteries are not, you cannot put those in your recycling bin. Like they already have battery outreach for
Banned
things.
from landfills, right?
Yeah,
The
like they're
lithium.
banned, you have to recycle certain types of batteries.
Yep. Same with car batteries too, lead acid, those are banned.
So like they already have, I guess like the dangerous ones, like these ones aren't really gonna do anything too crazy, but they still want the ends taped, just like, Fred said, in case they do touch and get a little warm, but it's definitely like the lithium batteries that are the ones causing fires.
Are solar panels of any consequence?
I think that's a whole other,
Yeah, that's why I'm
Can of
asking.
worms.
What would happen with someone brought a solar panel to the
Just the
PTF?
solar panel would probably just go into solid waste.
Yeah, I would assume, cause it's
Just a
mostly
solar panel.
plastic,
I think it's plastic and silicon or
Something like
something.
that actually sends it to a battery.
Yeah,
If they bring the battery.
Yeah,
then-
so there's no substance in a solar panel, you say that.
I don't think so.
Well, I think that's a big issue that some of the,
They definitely should figure it out.
some
'cause
of
they're
the
getting more and
environmental
more.
folks are having issues with because, like all these solar panel farms that are going in, you know,
Yeah.
once those things fade, crack up and
Yep.
stuff, they're not efficient
It only
anymore.
lasts so many years, yeah.
Somebody needs to, same kind of thing, somebody needs to figure out how to recycle those things, you know, because there is metal in it, you know, there's been little printed circuits on those things, you know, but to the best of my knowledge, it's not commercially recoverable, you know, at least at this point.
And it's not hazardous apparently from the material it's in its.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I would presume a company that would sell you your solar panels may, if you ask them that question, maybe they'd have a
Or have it
avenue or
labeled,
tell you where to take them, because they do wear out. They have a lifespan, I
Yeah.
know, and then you gotta replace them because they don't charge. Right, I've got a brother-in-law and he says, yeah, I had to replace mine. I can't remember if it was 10 years or 12 years. They just lose their efficiency and because it's you know, in the sunlight all the time. So, and I'm not sure where he did with his old ones. I presume the company that put the new ones in, maybe they took them for him and maybe they do recycle
A
somehow.
little solar light landscape, probably the same
I don't
things,
know.
right? And they don't come with any label on them that I know of, so probably the same.
Those are probably.
I suppose those are in the
Worth
garbage.
as much as
probably,
all the
those
Christmas
little ones.
tree lights.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
they just don't do much. And then where is it, compressed gas cylinders? 1 pound propane, is that those little green things you get packet to?
Yeah,
Ah,
we all
okay,
got a bunch of those in our garage, I'm sure.
yeah,
I
I
do.
lot.
Gotta get 'em.
You got any more room?
No, I don't want yours, Fred.
I
Good to
know.
know that somebody takes them and going, what should I do with these?
Yeah, they do sell kits for refilling those things and stuff, but it's a little.
Nah.
I mean, what they're trying to do, like, I think in California, they passed where you can only sell the recycler or the refillable ones now.
Oh,
The
sure.
reusable ones, so they're a little thicker metal and whatever, and then you
Yeah.
can take it to a place and get it refilled. I know in the national parks, they sell the ones you can refill,
Okay.
cause they're trying to push sustainability, cause
All right,
you go to a national park and in the campgrounds and stuff, you know, in the dumpsters, it says, no, none of these cylinders are allowed. You need to look in there and there's just tons of them, you know, cause people don't know what to do with them, so they, you know, just chuck them in there. So that's the way people function. So until they come out with a way that's safe to refill those things and, you know, cylinders that are meant for reuse, then we'll continue to have this problem. I just know, what does it cost to get rid of those now? $450, I mean,
50 for the little ones, yeah.
costs you pretty much the same to buy it, you know? So it's kind of for the few folks that wanna do it the right way, that's great.
Yeah, most people throw them away once they're empty.
Yeah,
But we get a lot of them, a lot of them that are full, never been used.
really, oh, geez.
And what do you do with them?
What do we do with them? We have a big Gaylord to put them in,
like what?
Gaylord
Big
box.
pallet sized
I
box.
suppose if they're empty, you know, eventually they could be ground back up and they're just steel, but you gotta make sure they're environmentally clean inside, I suppose. before they
Like
do that.
most of the ones we get in actually have stuff still.
Oh, yeah.
What, like with other cylinders, how much of a hole does it have to have in it before you can throw it in scrap metal? No,
None,
they don't take that
doesn't
anymore?
want any of them.
Okay.
No.
'Cause I know in the past, they used to say it had to
Yeah.
have so many
Yeah.
square inches or something of a hole before like old propane tanks and
Yeah,
stuff.
now it's cut a hole in them and take the valve off.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, got a little off track there, but any other questions on the brochure and prices?
Allison? 2023 calendar events.
Yep, yeah, we had that, noticed that earlier in the year.
Well, 23 calendar events.
Or calendar.
Huh?
And 2024.
I got 2024.
Some of them, there
Here.
were some
Maybe.
old ones, there was some old ones that had it.
You got 24?
Mine says 24, it must have some old ones mixed in.
You want
Third page?
trying to trick me to see if I was paying attention.
Mine says 24, yeah, I don't know. Must
Yeah.
be a couple old ones mixed in.
All right, so you win the door prize.
Yeah.
These are just to look at.
Oh, I
Yeah,
see.
she's good to have new ones for next year.
Yep.
24.
Yeah,
The
we
24.
double and triple and
24.
quadruple check all this stuff, have everybody read through it, then we usually find something. After we print them. Yeah. So, do we need, I assume we need an approval for that, right?
I think so, yeah.
What's this about a
Getting a new one
new
anyway.
design?
We'll get there. We're not on that agenda item yet.
Oh.
yeah.
I saw it in the brochure. Okay. Okay, everybody,
So I guess, we would need a motion to approve the change. What were we changing? Just the tire prices and the alkaline battery thing?
Mhm.
Okay.
like that,
As of right
okay. Better, John.
Next agenda item.
Okay,
Well, we gotta do a motion or a second.
I will.
So,
So move.
Lois?
Okay.
I'll second it. So
So quick, you women. How do you gotta be somewhere?
No, but I heard what you said.
we're just listening.
Hey, any further discussion on the motion? Everybody understand the motion?
Yes.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It passes.
Great. Well, the next item there, PTF Saturday schedule review and possible update. I don't know, do you wanna kind of run with that one, Joe, or we were talking, about the possibility of changing our winter schedule. Like right now, we've got December, January and February were open Saturdays, just the third Saturday. You know, and we've had a number of people, why the third Saturday, why whatever, you know, and you know, and then
Gotta do it.
we were also talking about the possibility of November too, you know, like do we switch over to November? Cause things slow down.
Very slow. It
Yeah.
gets really slow.
Especially once you get to the end of November, then it's like, you know, I guess we were gonna bring it to you guys to see what your thoughts were on, basically a two-part thing, adding November to that, those months, and then possibly changing the weekend to like what were you thinking, the first
First
Saturday?
Cause people come in, cause you get the third Saturday, well, the way sometimes the months fall.
Yeah,
And you get 4 Saturday or 5 Saturdays in a month. All of a sudden they come in the following month, go, well, I was here they screwed up, they miscounted the Saturdays. So they're all.
Yeah,
It gets
first-
confusing for some people sometimes,
not easier.
you know, unless they're looking at a calendar and they're marking it down. So we thought maybe just making it quick and simple, the first Saturday of the month.
Well, did that woman ever come back that really come?
She never came.
Okay, so we'll just do it the way we wanna do it arbitrarily and be done with it.
Yep.
Okay,
That was just, you know, we're just. Cause I was gonna bring that up, but we've really slowed right down.
okay, so everybody agree on having it be the first Saturday?
Yeah, so I don't know if do it all at once or you wanna do it in two parts, you know, but so there's two questions, you know, one, do we wanna switch it from the third Saturday to the first Saturday? And then two, do we wanna add November to the other 3 months that we currently have that Saturday schedule?
And leave November out because it's still kinda nice early November.
You thinking?
Unless we do like half of the month, the first 2 Saturdays. and
Yeah,
we go
it
from
gets
there.
too complicated then all that's.
By the third one, you got deer hunting and everything
Yeah.
else going on. Nobody will come in then
Nobody
anyway.
comes in there and nobody comes in Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving
weekend.
too, yeah. So
And
Well, that's why we were
then after-
kinda saying November might be good to add to it because the last 2 weeks of November are usually Deadsville,
Yeah.
you know, so they're kinda wasting time and effort being there.
And then we
And
go
then-
right into December.
So if we were open like the first week of November,
Yeah.
first weekend of November, then we're there when usually the weather's still sort of okay, you know, and usually it starts dropping off right in November here. I
Are you
mean,
overruling me?
I'm
And,
just suggesting.
I know.
and this would start January 1st,
Next year,
next year.
next year,
next year, January.
Yeah.
not this year.
We're already.
Yeah, because we're already in November,
Right,
halfway
right,
over.
right. We're just, cause that would be updated on the brochure. We
Yeah.
thought this would be the time to do it, you know,
Okay,
Clever. So
sounds good, Winter.
any other questions on that or discussion, I guess, before we do anything? So
So
Well,
just,
staff is good with that. I would make the motion to go ahead.
I'll second.
So are we sticking with the third Saturday?
No, first.
The first Saturday, okay. I was just wondering about holidays.
The only one, I went through the next 7 years, and we do have one Saturday that's gonna come up on the first.
Okay,
But if we post it, month or two in advance, or even before we start the November, and just to give everybody fair warning, we're gonna go to the second Saturday that month.
okay.
Okay.
As long as we post it and give everybody warning.
yeah, and they'll have a
We'll-
sign up at the
we put-
desk there and all
Yeah,
that.
we put signs up on the door and at the desk, and it'll be on the website and.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay,
It could happen, couldn't it?
Yeah, I was looking
It
at.
does.
4th of July, yeah, it could happen.
That won't affect us, but New
We're
Year's
just,
Eve,
are we,
New
okay,
Year's
so we're
Day.
just sticking with, December, January, February and not December, and not November? Or we're going to November?
2025, we would start adding November to that.
Adding in November, okay.
Yep.
gotcha.
Yep.
Okay.
Add November
So,
and first Saturday.
okay. Motion made by Gunter or all.
Saturday, and then I have a second by
Known as
Rob.
Mr. Van Dyke.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Seconded.
Wait. Any further discussion? All's in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
All right. Thank you, thank you.
Now, we got that logo contest, huh? Ah,
Okay, you know this little guy, right?
who's that?
Friendly little face, right?
You posted that?
So Ken, since you can't see, it's that little
Wait,
guy that
where's
says, oh, the camera's behind you there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're talking.
Never did like that little guy. Yeah,
With everybody.
He lives in Scandinavia.
yeah.
But when we had that network interruption and I was going through all my files, I realized that this was definitely just like a contest too. And like somebody in the community drew up this little image and now we use it for things. But it's also probably about 20 years old. So I would like to kind of run like a similar, I guess, kind of contest. I guess maybe it's not really like our logo, but I don't know. I would like to just,
Sure, sure.
Like a mascot.
yeah, kind of, yeah, I guess like a mascot, something like that. Cause like I'll get into during my bit, like going to this conference, like made me think more about like building our brand and
Yep.
that kind of thing. So, like Parks just put in an order for t-shirts and I also wanted to get t-shirts. And just for like when people are staffing like the fair booth and stuff, I think it would be good if we're all wearing
Yeah.
shirts, right? So I was like, well, if we're gonna get t-shirts made, I want, no offense to who made this, I want kind of a cuter logo, cuter mascot or something, you know? So it's like, I just want it to be refreshed. So I kind of just wanted to run I guess just like a little contest for people in the community. They can, any age, I guess it would be open to, just see what people can come up with and then we can, bring it up maybe at like the January meeting or something. We can have it open for a few months. The January meeting, we could vote on a new logo and then we could have our t-shirts made up and just kind of start, I guess plastering that everywhere. I don't know. Like I said, I just want to build the brand and be more of like a community resource, I guess. And I think getting the community involved in our image is one way of doing that. And then Jen had a good idea of like, obviously, like if we get shirts made, like they could get a free t-shirt or, depending, I guess, on like, I guess the prize would be determined based off of who wins. Like if they are a homeowner or they have room for a compost bin, Jen had the idea of like the winner could have a compost bin or something. But if it's a kid, they're probably not gonna care. So then they could just take a t-shirt, So something like that. I thought that would be kind of fun to do, I guess.
what would you
y'all-
think about linking it with like Earth Day, that time period in?
Yeah.
because in the
First of May.
schools, They do a lot with Earth Day.
Yeah, that
That's
might be a
true.
good thing. When would be the best time to get a school group to look at doing a project like that,
Spring.
Yeah, probably March, April. Earth Day's April 20
Like
something.
20, yeah, I think it's like 20.
Originally, it wasn't original Earth Day, May, 1st of May. Remember, May 1st of 1970.
Think
That
so.
was the first Earth Day. About your vintage. May 1st, 1970. They had that, gosh, and Bill Steiner was still Congress. Yeah, Gaylord Nelson originally started it.
So that might be a good way to approach it is do it so that it could be run through the schools too, you know, they got a chance to do it as a Earth Day thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I'll look more into like logistics of that, I guess. I just wanted to see if it's something y'all would be open to. Maybe for next month, I can actually have like, I don't know, wording figured out or like a form or something that I could like send to all the different schools and then they can see if any of the students are interested or
Yeah,
like you said, like each like class could make an image or something, but yeah, we'll figure it out.
good idea.
Sounds good.
Okay. Anything else on that?
No, I don't
Okay.
know.
We'll let, you can just run with it.
Keep going.
You run with it on your own and keep us posted. Board members, staff reports, conferences or seminars attended. Anybody?
Allison's got one for you, or do you get, you're
I
gonna do
guess-
that under your report?
I don't,
It's up to you.
it was fun when I was at WasteCon, I guess, was that the 21st, the 24th or whatever, yeah, last weekend in October there. We're in Grapevine, Texas, so like 20 minutes north of Dallas. Yeah, it was really fun, pretty, I don't know, I always say it's like rejuvenating, I guess, to be to a conference and just have the work that you do, I don't know, just be around, like-minded people and actually feel like you are making a difference, because sometimes it's hard to feel that way, and like one of the sessions I sat in was like recycling works, and even being in the field myself, like sometimes I get very discouraged and I'm like, does recycling work? But it's like, it does, and like the biggest problem is we're not putting enough recycling actually in the bins, right? And contamination is a big thing, which we all know, and it's like, I don't know, it was just nice to go to a session and know that we are doing things right and that we're doing a good job, so that's good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll talk more, I guess, in my next
Okay.
stuff. So yeah, I can just keep going if you want.
Anybody else?
She's next.
Anything exciting? Allison, your tour report for the whole schmear.
So I guess, yeah, my biggest like takeaway, that was really repeated like at a lot of sessions I went to was, doing like a waste sort or waste characterization. I know when I was looking back through notes, it looked like Debbie had done one back in like 2012 or something was the last waste sort, right? I know, some of y'all were there.
Warmest day of the year.
And I'm like, okay, that's a very long time ago. So I guess what I would like to do is probably like in spring or something, once it's a little nicer weather, so we're not digging around in garbage when it's cold. I would like to do a waste sort out at the PTF again, because I think that's like the first step to knowing really what the issues are, because the waste sort, like I said, it's over a decade old. Things have changed a lot. So I guess just to get like the information I need to know, like what residents are struggling with and like what we can improve on and that kind of thing, I would like to do a waste sort in spring to kind of get that information. I'd be looking for volunteers.
So are you talking at the PTF or like curbside waste sort?
PTF, I guess,
Yeah.
yeah, which obviously, and that'll be a little bit different of like numbers and like the garbage would be a different
Yeah.
kind than it's just like a curbside thing. But I mean, I guess I have time. I could maybe work with like GFL and see if they'd be willing to just set a route truck aside somewhere and dump it for me.
I think the last time,
Oh, boy.
Harvard's did that, they brought in one of their
Cause I think almost getting curbside would tell you what the
Yeah.
general public is doing. Where if you just went on our tipping floor, you'd get whatever house they're tearing down,
Yeah,
you
we're
know?
gonna get construction debris. Yeah.
So it's a different waste stream, really.
And I do remember we reserved one spot on the floor and they just dumped it and went through it.
Dump a garbage truck and.
Yep.
Yeah.
I said they,
I think it'll be
I
fun.
can only imagine
Right.
what's in a garbage truck.
Oh, God, don't even dream about it.
just remember.
Nightmare in the world.
I've been into a landfill and I've seen what comes out of there. It's like everything.
Those
They're
garbage
supposed to
bags
throw
heated.
in- They throw it in the garbage and
Like
the
us.
garbage truck does it.
Don't
He
need
just
heat
dumps
if you're
it,
up
it gets
ankles
squished
in
together.
garbage.
The doors are
Yeah,
open.
well, maybe I won't wait till spring. Maybe
You
we'll
heard you screaming or anything?
sooner
Yeah,
rather than
no,
later.
but I talked to a guy that worked at one of those landfills. and It's like, you can't, he says, he just, stuff that's not supposed to come, it gets dumped in a can and then it gets flipped up.
Yeah.
And the garbage truck compresses it. They don't,
Right,
the truckers don't get out anymore. They don't see nothing. I mean, they grab it and it's dumped. I mean, you can throw anything in there you want and they're never gonna trace it unless your name's on it.
right.
And they don't bother to look at that anyway, so.
Enough of that stuff. Let's
It'd probably be very educational, I'm sure.
moving right along.
To help out.
Yeah,
Right.
Everybody on the committee is, right?
yeah.
They don't do that quick.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, I'll talk to GFL then and see if they'd be willing to just drop off
Okay.
for us then. That'd be good. Cause like one of my goals, I guess, as recycling coordinator is to like bump up our social media numbers, cause that's I guess in today's world, like that really is the best way to get information out to people. So my goal is just like increase our following on like Facebook and that kind of thing, which is a good start, I think, for I went to this like talking trash on social media session. And
trash.
like a lot of like younger generations, you know, like Facebook's for millennials and older, really. I'm a millennial, I can say this. okay?
What are you?
I'm a millennial.
What am I?
Old.
Yeah.
Watch out.
So like a lot of
US.
kids like younger than me, I guess, and I like Instagram too, but like are going to Instagram more. So I think I would like to also make like a Instagram account for the solid waste. So that we can kind of be hitting more demographics, more age groups in the area. So that's another thing I wanted to do. I have possible radio show program. I like being on the air. It's fun.
Yeah.
So I think it would be kind of fun to do like either like a monthly or maybe like twice a month, kind of like where I go on the radio show and like each segment I'll take like 5 like tricky items and like what to do with them. Whether they are garbage, recycling, like a special like drop off recycling, like plastic film. People always have a lot of questions about that. So I figured maybe like each month I could just like tackle some difficult topics, I guess, or via like social media, people could also like submit topics that they would want to hear more about. And then I could also talk about that, just to try to reach like a larger audience. And there'd probably be like a little bit of like overlap between social media and the radio, but you know, it's fine. If you see it more than once or hear it more than once, it's more likely to stick with you. What else? I guess program update wise, I had Joe send some pictures of our cardboard bales to Georgia Pacific because like I said last time, I was hoping that since our bales are cleaner, I was like, I'm just gonna ask. So I emailed last week and I was like, hey, since our cardboard bales are a lot cleaner than the regular stuff you're getting, can we get a higher price, please? And they said yes. So instead of $70 of whatever it is, I don't know, it must be ton, we're getting 110. So that's pretty good. So it doesn't hurt to ask. I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna ask. Worst they could say is no, right? So I'm like, we're just gonna do it. So I'm hoping they remember that and are able to get us like a better price each time, just because we do have cleaner material.
You should probably repeat that several times so that so it sticks.
Right.
in there.
Oh, I know. I think every time she asks for loads, I'll be like, yeah, we have one. And remember how clean our last shipment was? Yeah,
Remember you're paying us higher price, yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Get what you pay for.
right.
Let's see. Last week was a big week of commodities getting picked up from recycling sites. bunch of glass got picked up from Wapaka, Iola, Manawa. And I got word from the DNR, from my contact over there, Jennifer, that Manawa drop-off site is looking at maybe closing.
Heard that.
So she's like, I don't know if you heard about that. I was like, no. Like, I didn't say anything to me. So we'll see. I need to get her some information and then she's waiting to call back the clerk treasurer for that site. I just wanted to look through my paperwork just to see what I guess the
Hey, Allison,
steps are in this, I guess, because like the Embarrass site closed, but that was like only Embarrass, so I don't think it was that. Oh, that crazy, I guess, that much of a loss, but it's like the Manawa site, like. I know people really do use that one, like I've been out there, there's a lot of people that use it, so, I guess I'll keep y'all updated on that.
who's the quarterly meeting we have at Point? There's always a lady there from the DNR.
Yeah, that's Jennifer,
That's what
Somewhere
you're
else,
talking
yep.
about?
yeah. We have that meeting tomorrow too, or Wednesday. Yeah, I guess. Biggest takeaway for me is I wanna do a waste sort. I wanna get in the garbage.
So is there a way that you can put like a Facebook logo, and if you're gonna do Instagram logo on this?
Yeah, I don't know why they're not on this one, where is it?
Yeah,
'Cause
you
we
got,
have a thing that says follow us on Facebook somewhere, I thought it was on the front of this, but.
The logo,
yeah, on
the
each
little-
side of facility. It fit perfect.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
Somewhere
Yeah,
on here
'cause-
that if you're gonna be doing Facebook and Instagram, put the logo on here so. people
Oh, yeah.
can Follow. That might get a few people to pick up on
For sure.
Facebook.
Yeah,
Allison, I got a question about these. Do you distribute any of these to the cities? I mean, I like know Wapaka, they send out a utility bill
Mhm.
and they'll put their own
Yeah.
newsletter in it. I was wondering if you do that to disseminate these a little easier, or if they would do it, but I'm sure they might if they.
these ones we send to like chambers of commerce, libraries, police stations, like we have like a whole list, like town halls, that kind of thing. So we have a whole list that we send out, and then the only thing that gets like inserted in like the newspaper is that yellow flyer. Which has like our
Yeah.
different program things like the Has Waste.
These over there.
We do have these at our town meetings on the table for
You
anyone
do?
who helps
Okay.
us out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You check City Hall or ask somebody like at your next
I mean, I
meeting.
could ask them if they wanna, they could get a bunch and just put them in the Wapaka mailings, cause I know the utility bills go out every
Mhm.
month and they send their. Well, our utility updates and different things from the city are in there. It's like a. Newsletter, so they might wanna just stuff one in for once, they might do it, unless it hikes their.
There's kind of a version of this on their website too, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of places, yeah, they post it online and
Well, I'm sure they do, yeah.
that kind of thing.
What is the cost for one of these?
Oh.
I
I
keep
mean,
putting
it
it in a drawer.
Probably be a lot if you sent it to every single house.
Okay.
Yeah, cause I think right now we only order like 40,000
Postage cost
a year.
Yeah.
And I mean, we go through most of them.
is in your
Um,
utility bill about 3 pages.
But yeah, I mean, even just putting like the little
Seems-
single sheet into the newspaper is a little pricey. So that's why I don't know if they like a whole, what's this called? Brochure thingy. I don't know. Yeah, cost effective wise. If it would work out very well, but
Yeah, it adds up quick, I know.
Yeah. I'll look into that though.
Anything else?
Oh, I think I'm done,
Sure,
finally.
last chance. Joe, it's your turn.
Like I said, it's slowed down. I mean, we still have customers come, but it's not like it was. One thing is, it doesn't seem like appliances have slowed down any. We are taking in appliances like crazy still.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
appliances and tires lately
Oh,
are still coming, so, which is a good thing. But yeah, I don't think, ever since
what do
we
you
ran
charge
that,
me, what do you charge me for a 36-inch telephone screen that doesn't work?
how much does it weigh?
Huh?
25 cents a pound.
So much a pound.
So, last week, we spent the whole week, we had a little issue with our bucket broke.
Uh-oh.
So Frank and Paul spent pretty much the whole week welding it up and reinforcing it. And
And that's the one for the loader.
The
big
new one, yeah,
The new loader
yeah.
broke already?
Not the loader, just the bucket, yeah, the grapple broke on it.
Wasn't very well made then.
Well, we've been having issues with, since we've got it, we just can't get
Really?
any answers.
No.
Our hydraulics are slamming it down, it's
Oh.
not slow. So we kind of rerouted some lines and put some valves in and got it to slow down.
Did we get hosed again?
What's that?
We get hosed again?
No.
No, this is still, it's a good bucket, we're just having some issues with it,
Okay.
controlling the pressure on
Oh,
it,
the
so.
pressure part. Okay.
So we, took some matters in our own hand and put some inline valves and adjustments in it, so. So we spent the week doing that. Otherwise, that's about it. Like I said, it's just been slow and it's at the mercy of the weather.
Maybe you better keep your St. Croix in the car just in case it gets real slow.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Francis.
I don't have a whole lot to tell you, other than, we're gonna start having, department head meetings weekly, I guess, with the building stuff here, so. They're gonna try and keep everybody a little more in the loop as things are changing quickly. The last, public property meeting that, I went to there, they're talking. They wanna have the east half of the courthouse empty and ready to go by May 4th is the target date right now. So that means like everything out of there. So the construction people can just come in and start tearing out the walls and doing the things they need to do. So that's obviously you start working backwards from there. Everybody that is working in that half of the building needs to be somewhere else before then. So and probably a month or two before then would be wise. So you got time to do all the final clean out and realize how much stuff is in this building. And I've been down in the basement there. Our storage room is down below us here. Then that storage room is going away in the process of this remodel. It's where all the what do they call that?
Scale tickets.
The heat pump, all that junk is, all the mechanicals for that heat pump thing are going down in where our storage room is now, so we won't have that. So a lot of the stuff that's down there is records that we have to retain for 7 years. I think I got all the ones out of there that are older than that. Filled up like 4 or 5 of those big recycling carts so far. And we got some more to go. And so we're slowly chipping away at that stuff. I think maybe either the end of this week or next week, I'm gonna bring up the rest of those records to the PTF. Joe is gonna, him and his staff are gonna put those on skids, wrap them up and everything, and then put them way up on the pallet racking we got up at the PTF. Cause there's really no reason other than the year that you're in or just closed out, they go do an audit on something, so they may say, hey, I need all your records from, June 17th to whatever, so you need to have access to those right away, but after that, once that audit happens, those can go up on a pile for 7 years and probably never get touched again until we go to toss them, so, and then we've got just a oddball stuff up there. We've got, when they were looking at this site for, storing nuclear waste and all that. We've got the records from that and just a bunch of stuff. I mean, it's stuff that we need to keep somewhere, but it's not like we need access to that all the time. So when this whole building is done, that where all the mechanicals are on the 4th floor up there above the 3rd floor, there's gonna be a huge room up there that's available for longer term storage type stuff. So that's where those kind of records will end up when we're all done with this. But in the meantime, we're gonna squirrel those away somewhere. I talked at the last meeting probably too about where we're looking at our staff being during that time. Right now, it kind of looks like over there where UW Extension is, once they move those folks to an alternate site, they're talking about renting another building or moving them somewhere else. Zoning and land and water would end up in that area over there is kind of what the plan is now. If you ask Brian with land and water, he's not terribly excited about it because he doesn't have a whole lot of room there, especially for 2 departments. But that's where Jen would end up, is wherever Brian ends up. in that same area so that we still have a footprint in this building for if customers come in and need something and whatnot. So, and then, Allison's gonna be living up by the PTF and working from home on occasion, so, and then I'll be working out of the park shop and combination of everywhere else. So it'll be interesting.
Excuse me, John.
yeah.
John, where did you say UW Extension is going now?
Well, it's, nothing's settled, Ken, but they're talking about, I don't know if you know where I think it was Rashke's office was.
You
Down
want
in Waiwega.
Vega, yeah.
It kind of looked like a house or whatever, you know, and,
Yeah.
but, there's like 5 offices in there and
Yeah.
he's willing to rent the place
Pretty
to
good
the
size.
county for a pretty reasonable
Yeah.
price, I guess, so.
Yep.
Whether that shakes out or not, I don't know, I'm not on that committee or anything, but that's kind of the thought is they would move to that site for the process until their rooms are all done, so. But then they're still working on that big area over there by the foundry, used to be the Buyer's Guide building. They're working on trying to come up with a number that makes sense to the foundry and the county.
Oh, yeah.
And that would be where most of second floor would end up in that building over
Space,
there.
yeah.
Cause there's, I think they said I don't know, it's in the teens, the number of offices they had there, and then the big open space where they could do more cubicles and stuff, so. They're thinking it would make sense for second floor to kind of migrate over that way. And then part of second floor, the health side is gonna be, should be done pretty soon. So their area will be already done, so they won't have to relocate. So kind of interesting, I guess the big stumbling block yet is the courtrooms. They're trying to have 3 courtrooms open the whole time. So the last I heard, they were talking about trying to do a temporary courtroom in the basement on that end.
That-
Yep.
We
Yeah.
heard that this morning, yeah.
Yeah, they brought that up at other stage issue and also that, according to friendly, and they're just about everything squared away already.
Well, yeah, like I say, I'm not in the inner circle there, so she had a question.
Okay, yeah, and so will if the public has to go to like, say, second floor, would they go over to the offsite place?
If they were working with like not health and human services, just human services or whatever, then they would end up going over to that Buyer's Guide building or whatever, if that's where they end up. You know, so like that whole department basically would be over there, cause they're split now, it's not health and human services, it's
Right.
health and then human
Human
services.
services.
So, so the health part of it would still be up there where they are, cause they're already remodeled pretty much. They're just wrapping up, some office spaces and stuff, yeah, so. There's a lot of planning going on and it changes every time you look at it, so it's kinda, you know.
So don't take what John said as gospel.
Right,
Probably by
right.
tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, it's changed already.
Yeah, it'll all be changed.
Just that public
What
service.
they said this morning in our
thing.
meeting, said. Next morning I came in and it changed, it was changed
Yeah,
every day.
exactly.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
don't
So-
write it down, Scott.
Don't write it down until you
Yeah, cause
you live there and.
it is a big undertaking and some of it's a little stressful on, you know, like, you'd think there'd be a little more overall plan for this stuff, you know, but it kind of turned into all departments for themselves, you know, like everybody's trying to, you know,
Yeah, that's what it is.
Veteran Services they made their own arrangements with Highway to move out there during this construction, and then, you know, like, I think, HR is moving down into finance with Heidi during the time their stuff's getting worked on, and so it's just, you know, and then we kind of made our own arrangements for parks, and then, you know, we're doing the same thing for solid waste, but, you know, some of these folks that don't have access to another building, you know, they're kind of like, hey, what are we supposed to do, you know? And then
Can't
you're
you
not
go
in,
out to the PTF?
what's that?
Would you go out to the PTF?
Yeah, I think we're pretty well covered.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is some of the other, like Land and Water, where do they go? You know, it's like they're kind of a big department. I mean, they've got, you know, what, 8, 9 people that work there, you know, and gotta find a place for those guys, you know, and just kind of, I don't know. The process, it's getting there, and they're supposed to have a first floor meeting here soon where the whole first floor gets together and talks about the relocation process and who's going where but they said that a couple weeks ago and I haven't had one yet, so.
Who knows?
But I'm expecting once these weekly department head meetings get going, all of us department heads are gonna know a little more about what's going on versus just the few that are involved with the whole thing, so.
So for committees, then we would be meeting at PTF?
Maybe,
Okay.
that's another thing, and on the park side, we got that big building down at the fairgrounds, the pavilion building, that's where a county board's gonna be held.
That's what I heard this morning. Yeah.
Right, so we're working on getting the internet upgraded there and everything so that,
Indoor plumbing.
yeah. So that everything will work for county board meetings, and then other meetings could be held up in that building too, but that's a pretty big building.
It's a big building.
One of the options we have is one for like this board to meet at the PTF, because we've got that break room, it's kind of small, but the other option is we could meet in the space that the Parks Department's gonna be going into. You can fit a few tables in the middle of that. We're gonna have like desks around the edge of that space. And we could meet up there for that, cause it's got good internet and we'll just have to get one of those fancy cameras or whatever, for doing that sort of thing.
That could even be the offsite courthouse,
What's that?
the building at the fairgrounds.
Not really. It's good for meetings because we
Okay.
can schedule individual meetings, but like, you got fair in the middle of summer, and then you got all these things. You can't just like turn it into a cubicle farm and, have people working there all the time because they can't be there during certain times,
Yeah. Don't you guys rent that building out, or would you
Yeah, we
eliminate?
do.
Or would
We-
they
you know what,
eliminate that?
You would have to, we
Work
already
around it.
have some weddings scheduled and
Yeah,
whatnot,
right.
so it would be pretty poor business of us to say, sorry, we're gonna
Sorry,
bring
we're
that into
gonna.
offices.
Well, just blame it on you.
Not my problem.
So, that being said,
Because it's a logistics nightmare.
it's a moving target and we're hoping that it all shakes out in the end here. I'm sure it will, one way or another, so.
All right.
It's gonna be painful.
It'll happen.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all I've got. Yeah, we've just been running with all that stuff. So that's that for number 12.
Okay, next meeting is December 9th, but I don't know where yet. So,
Still
Well,
Pay
should-
attention to our agendas.
kicked out until spring, I don't think.
Well, they'll start
You never
changing
know.
things over somewhere between, January, February, March, somewhere in there, I suspect that we're gonna have to start doing things different.
We usually don't have a December meeting, do we?
Right.
Or January?
It's all, if we don't have any action items, then we can call it off.
well, we aren't gonna skip two in a row.
That's up to the pleasure of Fred. So,
We skipped December, we're definitely gonna have one in January.
Not last year, we didn't have any December or January.
we might
That
have,
was the town of Lynn.
It wasn't, we never skipped, Fred. I re- yeah.
I know
So-
we skipped December.
yeah, so I mean, do we want to plan for that now and not just say we're not having in December unless something comes up that we need to have one?
If you'd like to do that.
Julie, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Nope.
No?
Yeah. So the next
What do you
meeting
think?
would be in January.
It always
But if
happens.
there's no.
It's subject to call on the
that,
end,
yeah.
because if you decide you
Okay.
need something, then you gotta have one in December.
Yep, yeah, and we can do that, yeah.
We're easy.
They always put that caveat on the end.
Whatever.
No, whatever.
You gotta put
We
that.
are gonna have it.
See if he has something for the agenda.
Okay, so January is the next meeting, unless something major comes up.
Yeah.
All right, so then there's just number 14, everybody's favorite.
Since,
Okay, Rob.
who's the second? John,
All right.
all in favor? Oh, aye, aye, no. Passes.
Okay, also shameless plug, Wickswama, Wisconsin County Solid Waste Management Association. We need more,
See you later.
policymakers. We have the people that are like in the departments, like working for the counties, but we need more, like Fred's on the board as a policymaker. So I was gonna come and see if any of y'all also wanted to join Wickswama board, because we need more people. Only meetings 4 times a year.
And where do
And
you
I'm gonna
meet at?
turn this off.
That'd be a good job for Ken, cause he's, right on this board.